Are you a Vata body type with a high basal metabolic rate? Do you struggle with issues like insomnia, constipation, and anxiety? If you can, pause the video and check out the list to see if you recognize any of these symptoms. You don't necessarily have to have all these symptoms, but do you ever get dry eyes or dry sore throat or belching or hiccups or intestinal bloating, gas, constipation? If you get arthritis, it's more on the end of stiff, painful joints, but not swollen joints. It's very common for people who are of the Vata body type, the predominant Vata body type, to get heart palpitations, even fainting spells, chapped lips, rough, flaky skin, nail biting, very sensitive to cold, agitated movement, generalized aches, sharp pains, insomnia. You wake up but you can't go back to sleep, fatigue, poor stamina, weight loss, underweight, tics, tremors. These are all part of the symptomatic picture of a person who has a high basal metabolic rate and always is on the slight side of weight. I'll see you in the next slide. Mastering the art of cooking for Vata body. The types of food you want to eat for the Vata body type, okay? And one more time, I'm going to explain that the Vata body type is the type of body that has a high basal metabolic rate. So it eats the food and the body quickly metabolizes it. And so the kinds of foods that a Vata body type want to eat are nourishing meals for optimal digestion according to Ayurveda. So foods that are quinoa and grains and vegetables and avocados and even yogurt. And we'll talk about the ways that you want to do that. But in general, the Vata body type has a fast mind and a fast basal metabolic rate. So the Vata body type wants to eat cooked, nourishing foods. Are you a Vata body type with a high basal metabolic rate? Do you struggle with issues like insomnia, constipation, anxiety, irregular eating habits, irregular going to bed habits, trying to do one thing and another thing and feeling scattered? If so, you've come to the right place. In this video, we'll explore the world of cooking and discover how to create tasty daily meals that cater specifically to your Vata body type. We'll focus on incorporating foods that are sweet, sour, and salty, as well as grounding foods to help you find balance and support your overall well-being. And I'm just going to say it one more time, that the taste is extremely important, and I have some videos on those on taste, and you can maybe take a look at those. But we have 9,000 taste buds, and we have specific areas where in the tongue where the taste receptors pick up sweet, sour, and salty. And these specifically help calm the nervous system down. So that's why it's so important. And rice is sweet. I'm not talking just about like chocolate cake, but that's good too in certain situations. But anyway, sweet, sour, and salty. Just a quick review, understanding Vata body types and their unique needs, and really understanding what is high basal metabolic rate. Go look it up in Wikipedia. Some of the language is complicated, but the bottom line is that it means that your cellular activity, your digestive activity, your thinking activity is quicker than other body types. And if your nervous system is faster, it means that you can feel overstimulated very easily, and many other things. But just think about that. Before we dive into creating delicious meals, let's take a moment to understand what it means to have a Vata body type. And the first thing about that is to go back and see that second slide. And that second slide indicates common symptoms that a person who is this Vata body type and goes out of balance, and they've been in fight or flight because there's just been chronic stress for one reason or another, or acute stress for one reason or another, that they're going to have a quicker sense of out of balance because they have a fast basal metabolic rate and they already have a naturally fast, quick, stimulated nervous system. So let's see what you can relate to as a Vata body type in the next few scenes. Vata individuals are often energetic, creative, and quick thinking, but they can also be prone to imbalances such as insomnia, constipation, and anxiety. When it comes to diet, Vata types thrive on foods that provide warmth, grounding, and nourishment, and must create a pattern and stick to it for their eating timing. So for breakfast, somewhere between the time of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Lunch, somewhere between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And dinner, which is kapha, sometime between 6 and 9. Sweet foods like ripe fruits, and those ripe fruits are the best, are apples, pears, and berries. Lots of other fruits have too much sugar in them, and apples, pears, berries, even tomatoes, those have a lower glycemic index. So those are, and of course blueberries, which has been researched very comprehensively, have a high amount of anthocyanins, which really increase the brain working. So they feed the brain of the Vata person, and they have the sweet taste. While sour foods like lemon and fermented foods aid in digestion. So a little bit of like sauerkraut, now not too much, and definitely not too much drinks like kombucha. Yes, a little tiny bit, but not very much. Really, we want the fermentation process to really happen through grains. And if you go look it up, this is common knowledge in the nutritional research world, which is that when you eat grains, the body converts them to a ferment and makes something called butyrates, and that balances out the good and bad bacteria. So fermented foods aid digestion, a small amount, but more specifically eating grains, the grains that soothe you, which are and can be basmati rice, quinoa, couscous, a little bit of more heavier ones like buckwheat, if you can tolerate that, but it's more the grains. Do some experimentation and find out what grain works for you, and then have those maybe 2 grains and use those regularly. Salty foods like sea salt and seaweed help retain moisture and balance Vata's dry tendencies. Another, I'll leave that for another time, but I just wanted to say that progesterone helps the body. It's not just a hormone, and if you eat plant-based progesterone, which you can get in the health food stores or online, the only brand I recommend is Emeritus, but it helps hold moisture into the cells, and there's a lot more to be known about that, but I just feel like I need to mention that here now, and you can do your own research. Actually, check out Dr. Roy Peat, P-E-A-T, PhD, and he is one of the leading people that brought the concept of progesterone over using natural estrogens and also pharmaceutical estrogens. Roy Peat, P-E-A-T, PhD. Do some of your own research. All right, next. Okay, so let's get into cooking for optimal digestion and grounding, relaxing, slowing down the nervous system. Let's explore some practical ways to incorporate these principles into your daily meals. Here are a few ideas to get you started. Breakfast. Kickstart your day with a grounding and nourishing breakfast. Consider a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with ripe bananas, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and a drizzle of honey. And if cinnamon is too spicy for you, change that up and put a little bit of your favorite spice in it, maybe saffron. This combination offers sweetness and warmth, providing the necessary comfort for Vata types. So what they say about Vatas is that you should get up in the morning to sit down so that you meditate or just do any kind of meditation that you want to do, but you calm the mind. So you start the day out having had slowed the mind and touched in with yourself and got grounded. That is the primary concept about a Vata. Then you eat breakfast, warm the belly, relax the belly, give nourishment, and then go out in the world. For lunch, for a balancing salad with a mix of cooked and raw vegetables, and those raw vegetables should be light greens. Include ingredients like roasted sweet potatoes, steamed broccoli, mixed greens, a tangy dressing made with lemon juice and olive oil. This combination provides a variety of flavors, sweet, sour, and salty, and textures while supporting the Vata needs for warmth and digestion. And you can always use nuts, cashews, almonds, walnuts, and more, even macadamia nuts. And if you don't like nuts because they're too hard to chew, you can always ground them and put ground nuts into the foods. Mastering the art of cooking for Vata body types is a fantastic skill that can have a profound impact on your well-being. By incorporating foods that are sweet, sour, and salty, as well as grounding ingredients, you can support your digestion, prevent insomnia, constipation, anxiety, and find a sense of balance in your daily life. There's also a book by Dr. Vasant Lad and his wife Usha Lad, and it's a cookbook, and it's by Usha and Vasant Lad. And you can go to Dr. Lad's website. I believe that it's either Ayurveda.com or the Ayurvedic Institute. Next is my recipe of Vata balancing meal, so happy cooking. And this is specifically a personal favorite of my own creation. Here's a delicious and balanced gourmet meal to soothe your frayed nerves. Sweet, sour, and salty taste combined with delicata squash, broccoli, and spices. Look no further. In this recipe, we'll be combining the natural sweetness of delicata squash with the vibrant flavors of broccoli, fennel, saffron, and black mustard seeds. And best of all, you'll have this tasty meal ready in just 30 minutes. Delicata squash, the type of squash that has long lines in it, so there's a dark line and then there's yellow. There are several delicatas in this scene. 1 head of broccoli. 1 cup cooked grain of your choice, such as quinoa or lentil pasta. 1 tablespoon of ghee, which is also known as clarified butter, and you can get it just about anywhere these days. GHEE, it's the best oil for a Vata body type. It's light and all the fats are cooked out of it. It's a beautiful lubricant. A teaspoon of fennel seed. A couple of threads of saffron, or a pinch of saffron threads. 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds. Salt and pepper to taste.
Fresh lime juice for serving. 1. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. Cook for 10 minutes until soft. Take out, cool and dice. Keep to add to rest of veggies in the skillet. Start by preparing the delicata squash.
Slice the delicata squash lengthwise and scoop out the seeds. Pre-cook the delicata squash in the oven for about 10 minutes. Remove and cut in bite-sized pieces to cook in a skillet with the quinoa and the lentil pasta. Cut the broccoli into florets, making sure they're bite-sized and evenly sized. In a large bowl, combine the delicata squash, the broccoli florets, and the cooked grain. Toss them together to mix well. In a large skillet or frying pan, melt the ghee over the medium heat. Add the fennel seeds, saffron threads, and black mustard seeds to the skillet. Cook them gently to release their aroma. Once the spices start to sizzle and become fragrant, add the delicata squash, the broccoli, and the grain mixture to the skillet. Season with the salt and pepper to taste. Stir-fry the vegetables and grains for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the squash is tender and slightly caramelized. Make sure to stir occasionally to prevent sticking.
Once everything is cooked to perfection, remove the skillet from the heat. 10. Squeeze fresh lime juice over the dish for a burst of sourness and a hint of brightness. Give the mixture a final toss to evenly distribute the flavors.
Serve your delicious creation hot and enjoy the delightful combination of sweet, sour, and salty flavors in every bite. There you have it, a gourmet-style dinner that satisfies your cravings for sweet, sour, and salty flavors while incorporating the goodness of grains, broccoli, and aromatic spices. This dish is not only delicious, but also grounding and soothing for the Vata body type that has had a hard day. Food is medicine.
So, grab your ingredients, put on your apron, and get ready to enjoy a wholesome and flavorful meal in just 30 minutes.
Bon appetit, Vata style. I hope you enjoyed this video on foods for Vata body type and my own personal recipe for Vata soothing dinner. In the next video, my Pitta body type, I teach you, just like I did in this video, about the signs and symptoms of a Pitta or a Pitta imbalance. And I give you the signs and symptoms, and I also teach you a little bit about the body type of Pitta, and I also teach you how to do a delicious recipe that pacifies Pitta, and Pitta means having acid or feeling overheated. So Vatas can also feel overheated, and that's a condition that we call the Pitta. So give the video a look and like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what kind of videos you really want. So this is Dr. Helen, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.